everybody. Let's explore together AI in the age of consciousness. By the way, Seyhan Lee is the name of our company where we make films with AI. This is my intention for this talk, and this is my motto for the company that we founded in 2020. I would like you to internally read this, please, and be very, very humble and honest with yourself. If whatever you are doing, if whatever the company you are working for is serving to this vibrational level, for humanity to reach their pristine greatness and their cosmic original destiny. By the way, for those that are not familiar with who Count Saint-Germain is, he's one of my favorite human beings ever alive. Have been ever alive. Please research him. He's a thinker. He's an alchemist who lived in the ages of 1700s. He was a wonder man, and he has a lot of wise words of wisdom that we can all benefit from. So AI in the age of consciousness. I would love to see the hands of those that know what I'm talking about. Do you guys, have you ever heard about Age of Aquarius? Yes? I'm pretty sure that most of us are familiar with. For those that are not, please take a screenshot. It took me a while to put this together. For Astrology 101, I'm an Aries. So Aries, Aquarius, Pisces, Taurus, Gemini, these are all stars in the galaxy. And all the astrological forces have their own unique positive and negative sides. Like I said, I'm Aries. My Pluto is run by Aries. My Mercury raised by led by Aries. So most of my astrological chart is led by Aries, and Aries are a fire sign. If you catch me on my wrong moment, I used to be very warlike, very aggressive, arrogant, superior, dominant. I'm not, in no way I'm suggesting them as like positive attributes, but just to tell you that this was the age before Christ, BC 2000 to AD 1. Aries was the ruling force of astrological age, hence giving birth to a lot of wars, Greek and Roman warriors, invention of geometry, democracy, and a lot of sacrifice, and the invention of iron. And since 2000, I know that it's on purpose, it's 2020, because there are speculations that there has been something with time, that it has been altered. Anyways, it's actually since 2000, I'm not going to go into conspiracies right now yet. Later. Since 2020, I didn't decide for that. I was at South by a couple of months ago, and somebody said, "Who put this chart together?" Me. Who decides that? God. So if ever you're going to question the astrological forces, question the creator or the forces, natural forces, and not me. So the biggest influence of our age is consciousness. Another word, wisdom. Another word, love. Another word, collective consciousness. Whatever you're doing, being for the benefit of humankind. And as you can see, the influences of all ages are parallel with the outcomes, with the inventions, and with the technologies of their ages. In other words, whatever you are doing, whomever you are working for, it may be well working for that company or for yourself. But in the long run, if ever it doesn't pair with consciousness, with disclosure, with freedom, with purpose and revolution, it's not going to work. So I will be explaining further on what consciousness is, but during my entire talk, I would like to ask only one question to you. Are we conscious enough for AI? And I know that you're saying, well, she means that will AI ever be conscious, right? No, I'm not that delusional Google engineer that we all read about, who needs a vacation so bad and who believes in fairy tales. So are we conscious enough for AI? You know what that means? That means that we model our tools after ourselves. Do we know who we are? I know that we, as like biological entities, you are conscious, you are conscious, you are conscious, but we all have a different consciousness level. Consciousness is not like, your consciousness level is not the same as somebody else's consciousness level. It all has to do with your awareness, your capacity to view things from a broader perspective. But I know that it's not consciousness is not something like we can measure. I know that as humans, we are like, yeah, let me observe this, let me look at it, let me see it with my eye of the flesh, and let me measure it. Like God, imagination, or consciousness, it's 2 centimeter in diameter and 7 centimeter in height. It doesn't work like that. Certain things need further conscious contemplations to be explained. Hence, let me present you the Pinar hypothesis. I'm saying nonsense. I just made it up, this drawing. So I will have 3 pages to explain you what consciousness is. I know that we're all different people. We have all different perceptions of what is. This is my perception. As Eyeo presented in 2018, I went through an awareness awakening. In other words, I was introduced to consciousness. I understood the value and how much I was under the spell of my subconscious programming, and I liberated myself from that to find, it's still an ongoing journey, I'm not there yet, until my dying breath, it will be my journey. I'm searching for my consciousness. Okay, just imagine for a moment that we all have a strainer on top of our heads, and there's a universal unconditional love, possibility, wisdom, riches, creativity, wealth, whatever you want to get in your life, what is your grandest, furthest potential, it is at all times available to you, coming in a rainbow consciousness from the clouds. How do I know that? How many of you has done visionary, heroic doses of ayahuasca, mushroom? Your feet too? Okay, me too. So I think you are more leveling with me. I mean, those as well who didn't do it, but those that have been visitors of these journeys know that these possibility of rainbow, amazing perception dimensions are available to us. So my explanation of consciousness is, if we all have a strainer, the sizes of the holes of our strainer is the size of our consciousness. If ever the whole of your consciousness is very small, then your mind chatter is like, Pinar, you're so incapable. He made fun of you again. Nobody is giving you any money. Nobody is respecting you. Everybody is humiliating you. You better get offended and you better stand up for yourself, because unless you shout and unless you are angry, nobody will respect you. That is somebody, who was me, who had very little holes in her subconsciousness. And I worked so hard on myself with our subconscious teacher to get the holes of my strainer larger, so that I can have this unconditional love and expression and trust in myself and self-esteem to exude out of myself. The next page is warning. It's very personal, and you are allowed to laugh or cringe or feel awkward. This was me. And as you can see, that the difference between these 2 people is not only their hair color. Do you see that there's a difference? I have no shame in saying who I was. I was like, I was doing great with my career. I mean, self-esteem and feeling great and not feeling great has nothing to do with my career. This woman, who was me at age 30, she gave a TED talk and she wasn't even 30 years old. She had a collection under her name in all IKEAs in the world. She made a music video for Diplo. I was a fan. You know, I was doing great. But I was in a deep, deep, deep depression, and I couldn't admit it to myself. I was like, I would cringe. I would walk like that at all times. I was feeling like a victim of society, of everybody. I would make sentences, they don't give me, they don't respect me. That celebrity is more superior than me. That client is better than me. I'm just a nobody, I'm just a little nothing nobody, and a mess, and also very arrogant, because feeling of inferiority is linked with feeling of arrogance. But then what happened is that 2016, I lost everything I thought that ever defined me. For you to understand what I lost, if you have a kid, put it in the basket. If you have a husband, if you have a wife, if you have a job, if you have a plane, if you have a car, if you have a dog, put it in all the basket. Everything I ever owned, I lost it, including all the money in my bank account. I had nowhere to go other than just like kneeling and praying to God, like, I don't know nothing. I know nothing. I need an explanation. I need an answer. I need something to change in my life. And only then I met with our teacher, Eyeo. And she, by the way, prior to that, I traveled the world for a healing. I did ayahuascas and mushrooms, and I even tried to levitate. I still couldn't. And so what happened is that Eyeo told me with one thing: I can help you with only if you acknowledge only one thing. People can only be happy and have great self-esteem if they have a high consciousness level. Consciousness is like this, and feeling of being unconscious is more like that. And she said, as Carl Jung said, we are led 95 to 99% by our subconscious. And unless we make our subconscious conscious, we will be living a life led by the power of our memories of subconscious, and we will call it my fate. And the third and the last page about explanation of lack of consciousness and consciousness comes with these two comparisons. Just internalize it for a moment, please. I will get back to why all of these illustrations has to do with, are we conscious enough for AI? Being conscious is to say repeatedly more of courage, I do, I can, unlimited, unconditional, I have. But there's a discrepancy between telling and doing. How many times we found ourselves, I really want to be a better version of myself, and how many times we couldn't do that? Because there is in order for us to change our behavior and go from I can to I make that I do, we have to change the behavior, the information that is registered in our subconscious. And why is this so important? Let's take a step back. For 3 pages, I explained you what consciousness and what lack of consciousness is. Why is this sentence, are we conscious enough, is so important? Because we, like I said earlier, we model our tools after ourselves. If ever we are not conscious, if ever we are in a position of, I don't know, this person is superior than me, that person is that person, if that person is that, then we always code, our tools to be superior than us. I know nothing, I'm just a human, I'm like a little whatever human. But AI knows better, data knows better, they know better. We will always externalize power unless we wake up to our own power. Imagine a world that is governed by that Pinar on the left, that sees everybody else superior to her other than herself. How would that AI behave to us? Of course, that AI will be coding, that AI and the people that code the AI or technology companies that work with AI. It's not only about AI, it's about metaverse, it's about Neuralink, it's about DeepMind, it's about all the most powerful companies and technologies that are available to us. I would like to ask you, what would the future be like if ever the people in the decision-making point had tiny little holes of their consciousness strainer and they look like Pinar, like on the left? They would be coding AI that would have us humiliate to ourselves, lie at ourselves, and paying monthly. Oh, you didn't come to your jury duty? Sorry, your house is locked, you can't enter. Why don't you go to the jury duty? Oh, you didn't pay your tax? Sorry, I will not be able to drive you to your mother's house because I'm your self-driving automated car. And it takes all of us. Like some of you may be thinking like, yeah, I'm just an AI operator in a company. What would I make a difference? It takes all of us. I will get to that point while how no matter what your purpose is, what your job is, you can contribute to the whole and you can contribute to the changing of the sentence. And so here's a little Rorschach test. What do you see? Just say it. What do you see here? Ta-da. Yes. This is the evolution that is marketed to you as a human being by genius marketers that have degrees about mind manipulation and civilization engineering. So let me explain you. You little humans, you crawling nobodies, you can't even stand straight. You are bending over, you little creeps. But with the power of technology and AI, only when you are cyber that you can stand straight. Do you believe in that? I mean, I don't, because I know that I learned to stand straight without working with technology. By the way, I make really super cool stuff with technology that I will be showing in the second half of my presentation. I think this is the biggest illusion and lie that is being fed to us. Because as long as we cannot answer, are we conscious enough for AI, that this will be our ending, not the former one. That we will be slowly morphing into a barcode, slowly becoming another bell pepper in the supermarket, unless we can answer this question. Just think about it, what AI is making headlines with. Oh, AI played whatever game better than the machine, better than the human. Oh, AI made optimized supply chain. By the way, it's not doing a great job these days, but that's another conversation. Oh, AI made the elite become even more elite. Oh, AI created the discrepancy between poor people and rich people wider. Is that what we want AI to make? Again, are we conscious enough for AI? But I think what is truly happening, if you ask me what evolution is, how many of you in this room think that Ancient cultures, indigenous peoples, natives were wiser than we are right now. Yes, me too. I'm happy that we're on the same page. I think if ever, unless we answer the question, are we conscious enough for AI, that this is where we're going. Coming from a place of wisdom, because they were much more in tune with nature. They also had technologies. When they were lost, wise, I love wise. I can just close my eyes and drive. But they also found their way by looking at the stars. They were much more in tune with Mother Nature, lived in symbiosis. But in my opinion, this is where we are. We think that we are individualized, but actually very lonely and living separate lives. We're completely afraid of mingling, exchanging opinions. Two people that have, on the opposite sides of the political spectrum, cannot even exchange opinion without warring with each other. And unless we answer the question, are we conscious enough for AI, in my opinion, we're gonna go completely Wall-E and oblivion. But it's okay, I have positive solutions. So, are we conscious enough for AI? I can't ask this enough. I don't know the answer for you, because nobody can decide and be on the driving wheel of your life other than yourself. But all I know is that technology, when not coupled with wisdom, do not serve the elation of humankind. And I prepared a few examples. They're gonna hurt, they're gonna be too close to home. We all know what this is. Humanity's capacity to split the atom, nuclear fission. And what happened is that, I don't know if you remember or if you read like history books, it was marketed to humanity as like, finally we have a solution for energy. Finally everybody in the world can have energy. Hooray, let's celebrate. Let's split the atom and then have nuclear reactors and whatnot and give energy to people. And this was like bombarded propaganda on the news, on the newspapers, everywhere. So humans was like, nuclear energy, yes, splitting the atom in two, yeah, let's unite people. Yes, fantastic. And what happened is that Oppenheimer, who was one of the people that played a very important role in splitting the atom, together with his buddy Einstein, wrote several letters to Eisenhower, the United States president back then, saying, this is not looking good for humanity. It will have very serious ethical and technological consequences and civic for human life. We want United States government in splitting the atom and making a nuclear bomb to be stopped. And Eisenhower heard them. Okay, this really is not looking good for the future of humanity. Let me create a protocol to evade this, to annihilate nuclear bomb. He even tried to make peace with Russia. And what happened is that another department in United States, led by Senator McCartney, labeled Oppenheimer, just because he was going against nuclear bomb, as a traitor to national security. They named him a communist. So somebody that was warning for the dangers of the atomic bomb was labeled as the biggest insult of back in the days, being a communist. So he was shut down, and you know the result. I think this example teaches us an amazing lesson, only if we want to learn from history, that unless we create bodies on top of governments, on top of technology companies, on top of civilizations, that is like a wisdom council that has made out of several different voices, that has several different ideas about the one thing that we are trying to find a solution for. Again, we are messing with very powerful technologies. I bet like all the people in this room, like if we can today pledge to whatever company we are working at, we can just like ask the question, do you think our company is conscious enough for AI? I don't know the answer, but why don't we have like a wisdom council as part of our company where we can constantly ask ourselves, whatever we are doing is serving the highest elation and the cosmic destiny of humankind. Second example is IBM. I mean, I didn't know this, but I learned it while I was working on this presentation. Did you know that IBM was marketed to humanity as making census, counting people faster? And what did it end up becoming? Of course, locating Jewish people faster, because they had everybody's information faster than everybody. So again, technology not coupled with wisdom is detrimental for humans. Third one of my favorite thinkers, please God, let me pronounce his name right, Yaron Lanier. He vouches for changing social media's name into behavior modification empires. How many of you are addicted to social media? Me too. What's your heroin? TikTok. What's yours? Twitter. Yeah. Okay. It's my Coke. I'm a sucker for TikTok. It's like an ongoing battle with its algorithm and myself. And I know that like lucidity and thinking straight and like input output is like necessary for the expansion of our species. I'm all pro that. But remodifying, toying with our hormones and messing with our pleasure principles and seeking for self-validation and our value in the cyberspace, I think there's something quite dangerous going on here. Like, social media is so like, share that kitten, share that auntie's face, share that whatever. It's all very innocent, you know, until it messes up with your hormones, until it messes up, rewires your pleasure dopamine strokes. So again, conscious contemplations, people that are working at the cutting edge, companies and technologies, conscious contemplations for themselves and for their future generations. And last image before I jump into the more fun and crazy, exciting part of my presentation is, of course, AI. Again, are we conscious enough for AI? I want to ask that question to you. Do you think that humanity, I showed you, I illustrated, I jumped around, made a couple of saltos. I was very honest. I showed you lack of consciousness and not knowing our worth, not knowing our value, unless we are very careful, that we will be positioning AI in a decision maker and superior power. And unless we wake up to our own power as humanity, as our species, as our self-sovereignty, we will be modeling our tools to squash us, to become like Matrix. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell one thing. Do you know that about social media, the former one? You know Lana Wachowski? My idol. She's the co-maker of Matrix. And she has only one channel of social media, Twitter. She never tweeted at all. And you know what is written in her bio? Warning, the sacrifice of my civic life shall have value. If she were to be anybody other than the co-creator of Matrix, where humanity gave the right of their existence as a silver plate to the machines, for the machines to dominate humans and turn humans only a source of electricity, I would be like, yeah, whatever, somebody expressing themselves. But she's the very maker of Matrix. So now it is the time for all of us to start having conscious contemplations. I just want to stop for a moment and ask you, do you think we're conscious enough for AI? Thank you. Now I can go to the next chapter. So, something really insane happened to me, 1 in a trillion thing. You're not familiar with this image. I will be explaining you. What happened is that, like Eyeo said, I was living a cool little life as an artist. You know, my work was shown in places. I did cool collaborations with big brands, and my work was in museums. But what happened in 2018 is that I was in an artist partnership with another Dutch artist. Her name is Viola. We were signing our studio's name with our first initials, Pinar and Viola. And we received an email from Google, the Google Brain Lab in Zurich, in partnership with Google Arts and Culture in Paris, saying that, yo, girls, so we discovered something in our lab, and it looks quite similar to your work. So first row is Alexander Morvintsev. Those that are messing with technology and generative art know his name. He's the inventor of Deep Dream in 2015, this crazy algorithm that saw these faces and dog faces everywhere, machine hallucinations. And in 2017, he woke up from his dream one day and then attempted to visualize how artificial neural networks perceive futures. Meaning, this is an object, right? Or let's say that you have like a glass or your phone or your whatever, salt and pepper shaker in your hands. Something happens in your mind in the moment of perception where you recognize that object. But you don't know how that works because your mind has been trained with thousands and millions and gazillions of salt and pepper shakers for your mind to identify that object. Well, Alex Alexander Morvintsev could visualize that very moment, mimic that very moment, what happens in our mind at that moment. And the bottom row is my work my body of work as an artist. And if you squint your eyes, you can see that there are a lot of similarities. So I was summoned by Google in 2018 to their lab we invented this and we're like a tech company. This is a sample. We want to connect it with the audience. We don't know what to do. And why don't we do a cool collaboration? You're artists and you put meaning on things. And then it was so nice. It was amazing. I mean, it was, of course, shocking. It's like how many times in your life you receive a phone call from the biggest technology company in the world saying that they invented something and you've been doing quantum visualizations for the rest of your life, you know? So we made a cool collaboration, but it was not enough for me. In 2018, like back in the days, there were so little people working with, there were like so little examples of, there was only style transfer and GANs when it comes to generative art. Of course, like generative art is making the news tabloids with DALL-E and Midjourney or GPT-3. And back then it was a novelty. But what happened is that I saw this, and then we had a collaboration with Google where we made an online tool for everybody to make art like us by using generative art AI. But then I was like, something was brewing inside me in 2008. It was also the year of my awakening, like my teacher showing me, Pinar, you're living a life of unconscious, and until you become conscious, you can never use technology for the benefit of humankind, nor for your benefit. I was like, okay, you know what? Then that year, I decided to found Seyhan Lee, our company, and with the pledge that no matter what I'm going to do with this company, where we will be making films and productions and high-end installations with AI, we will be serving to the elation of humankind. And I swear to God, I will become the most conscious technology company in the world working with AI. How many of you are familiar with generative art? Disco diffusion, style transfer, first order motion model, hypercore. Okay, great. This is like our domain. And I will be showing you a few really cool examples on how we are using these generative models and how we became the bridge between machine learning, generative art, and storytelling by way of using AI as a VFX. But all before that, I'm going to show you something. We made this, it's a very short clip. We made Mona Lisa rap like Lil Pump, and Soulja Boy. It was their NFT. And then it comes with a warning. If there are any academics or art historians in this room, wait until I finish my lecture to shoot me. Enjoy.
Hey man, shout out to all them bitches, man. Shout out to Mona Lisa, nigga.
You know what the fuck going on, nigga?
Gang, gang, gang.
Draco.
Hey,
Lil Pump.
hey.
Shout out to Mona Lisa. Shout out to Mona Lisa. I heard she got the Nina. Shout out to Mona Lisa.
Yeah, my teacher says laughing is conscious. So being like laughter is like really the best vibrational frequency that you can enter in. So before I show every film or every production that we made, I would like to say something about the way we work in the hopes maybe you can find it inspiring for yourself and for the company you are working at. We do things differently at Seyhan Lee. The first one is that we are an AI company that is not fascinated by data. I know that I contradict myself because we work with data, but how many times we have been fascinated and like having our eyes exploded, oh my God, that artist worked like with so much terabytes of data. How about that artist is amazing and he is a visionary and whatever their aesthetical filter is superior than anybody else so then they can give birth to amazing creations. I think that being fascinated by AI and making sentences such as, yeah, AI made this, AI didn't make anything, AI is not aware of nothing. You are aware. An amazing group of people, group of individuals coded a certain model or a notebook for you to be able to play and create amazing things. And you are also the creator with their own vision, their own aesthetical filter and curatorial control. You are creating the art. AI is not creating the art. So coming back to, even if you are like an artist or like just an engineer or whatnot, however you define yourself, it takes you as well. You can start by today by changing your jargon, by putting humanity in the center of your creation and your decision making, instead of wandering and being awe of the machine or being awe of something that runs on batteries, you know, that you can unplug and then you would still be there and the machine will be gone. But even though, like, if we are not fascinated by data, but we are fascinated with what we can make with data, with what we can make with AI. So this is a super cool film. It's only out right now. It's called Descending the Mountain, directed by Maarten Nijwegen. It also happens to be the world's first feature film that uses AI VFX made by us. The film is sponsored by Carl Jung Institute, Zurich Institute, Neurology Lab. They were researching the effect of psilocybin, mushrooms, and meditation in our psyche. And the director challenged us to make a visual sequence where we make people feel like they are tripping without taking mushrooms. And the parallel processing nature of AI art, generative art, enables us to experience realities that haven't been experienced by the eye of our flesh, but has been opened to the eye of our transcendence. One of my favorite thinkers, Terence McKenna, he has this famous quote, nature is alive, and this is not a metaphor. And the movie is called Descending the Mountain because a monk descends from the mountain and starts working with the neurology lab of the Zurich Institute to prove people that when you meditate, you rewire your brain, your subconscious, and your consciousness. And what we did is that we trained an AI with Swiss mountain Alps to give people the impression that they are alive. I'm just going to be showing you in sound a small part of
Here to be in awe. I'm very worried. I think we are destroying our biological base where we are depending on to live. And we are seriously threatening that kind of balance. We are so stuck in this materialistic worldview that we need something that really can get us out of it.
By the way, a technology company, an AI company boasting about how much data they have and how much terabyte they use to make that art, for me, has no difference than a rich man boasting about the Rolls Royces that he owns. Right? Unless you're whatever you are doing with your riches for the benefit of humankind, I can't care less about how many cars you own. Number two, we are fascinated by the power and capacity of the human. Like I said earlier, we aim to be the most conscious company that works with AI, the most conscious technology company in the world. And all the messages that we are giving, all the projects that we are working, all the films that we are making, strive to have the power of humans' capacity to live in symbiosis with nature at its very core, center. And the example that I will be showing you, it's a very short film, only a minute, and it's our first film. It won us the D&AD pencil. Those that are familiar with that award, it's like the Oscars of advertising. And we won with Emerging Realities VFX, so it's really a great honor. And I would like to hear, while I'm on the stage, would like to thank again for the CMO of Beko. By the way, Beko, do you guys know Beko, the company? It's an appliance company. Those that love soccer, they are the main sponsor of FC Barcelona. They are on the chest of Barcelona, FC Barcelona. It's an appliance company, and they were coming out with their sustainability stand, but they didn't want to show any appliance. They wanted to show their philosophy, why they are doing what they're doing, not what they are doing to prove what they're doing. And the CMO of their company heard about us, that we are making cool stuff with AI, but only like small little tests because we didn't make a film back then. And then she's like, I want you to make a film for me. She didn't see one single example of our work. Can you imagine that? It's like insanity. I'm like, just give me a chance. I'll make the best film you'll ever see. And she believed me. You know, like there can be like, I don't know, maybe somebody needs to write a book about that or something. Okay, just enjoy. It's a minute film. We used mainly GANs, Generative Adversarial Networks, the same notebook that we used for for the former film. In the next films that I will be showing more crazy fun and more novel AI notebooks.
When did we decide that we were above it all? As if nature were apart from us, when the connections are many. We are every blade of grass. We are every flower, every breaking wave, and seashell, every leaf. Every creature that has ever drawn a breath, or taken wing, or plied the depths. We think we aren't connected, but we are more than we will ever imagine. What happens to one happens to all.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. A crazy statistic, this film is watched 90 million times in YouTube. 90 million. None of my work has ever been watched 90 million times. And it accessed, and it reached, like companies count impressions more than views, 620 million impressions. So it's like, for me, it's close to insanity. And Beko, the company, loves data. So they're like, we will ask people the watchability and whatnot. And so they had like a focus group. And they made people watch all their former ads with Messi and all the FC Barcelona team. And then they made the same people watch our ad. And our film was watched 37% more. And they asked why, because they're like, this is captivating. I don't know what's happening. I've never seen something like this before. So I'm curious to sit through and watch until the end. And I think it says something about AI's generative parallel processing nature as well. It allows us to access realities or like visualize these really high concepts like nature being one, nature being alive, we being one. And that's actually what excites me the most about generative art. Like Ece said, we have a chief wisdom officer. Our spiritual teacher is actually our chief wisdom officer. We don't have any production and any script that is being published, that has been shown to the world without going through her. And at all times in our communication with the world, she teaches us, she coaches us to come from a place of nonviolence. When we express ourselves, to be in dialogue with people, we always take our self-centric approach, meaning we don't blame others, we don't say this is your fault, this is what you did, you are the reason of my failure or whatnot. We always take accountability for our actions. And at all our works, we strive to create a moment of paradise, a moment of rest, a moment of reflection for people. And this example, it's actually, it was last week. We partnered with my country, Turkey's most beautiful flower company, Ribbon Flowers, to create a moment in the center of Istanbul. Together with their flowers, we strive to create paradise. How can you visualize paradise? And how many times did we attempt to visualize paradise as humanity? Thank God, many times. And in my opinion, with the parallel processing nature of AI, we get to visualize these celestial, these ethereal concepts. We did mainly, the next slide will be showing you the piece in large. We did it in collaboration with Alex, who's one of the guys that contributed to the new versions of the Disco Diffusion notebook. He goes by DevDev in Twitter. And we always try to work with the core of the notebooks, with the core of the models, the people that wrote it. So just enjoy. I will be showing a 1-minute extract. to cut because I've been told that I only have 4 minutes remaining. So like I explained before, we love to use AI to visualize ethereal concepts like time, emotions, and transcendence. The next one is really gonna be, it's our most crazy work in my opinion. It is not out yet. I cannot reveal why we made it and for whom we made it. I'm gonna be showing you 2 minutes of it and then 2 minutes of another film before I end the talk. Just enjoy. This piece is called From Big Bang to Bitcoin, where we visualize with AI in collaboration with Vadim Epstein, the Russian artist that I love to collaborate so much. And you will be seeing different inventions and important moments in the history of time. I have to cut again. And in the last 2 minutes that are left to me, I would like to show probably our officially most crazy work that we did for Star Atlas, where we have freedom, by the way, freedom is the backbone of our company, freedom to self-express, freedom to say no, freedom to say yes, freedom to stand up for your beliefs, freedoms to be in a dialogue with somebody that shares exactly the opposite opinions of yours. How many of you are familiar with Star Atlas? It's like asking how many of you are into Web3. I see you. They are the poster children of Web3. It's a new video game that is launching later this year. And before launching, they already raised $200 million only by selling spaceships that people will be taking to play in their video game. It's made with Unreal Engine Nanite 5. It's like the most cutting-edge graphical interface that a video game has ever had. It's amazing. It's really mind-blowing. And they came to us. We know the owners, and they're real people. They said, we are all about power to the people, and we want you to make a short film about our purpose, why we are doing what we are doing, not what we are doing. This video is their teaser, which is amazing already, shows what they are doing. And we made a film for them with AI by taking their CG into account and to tell the story of Star Atlas, of how Star Atlas is taking really high-end technologies like blockchain, Web3, NFTs, and how they are using it for the benefit of humankind. This piece was meant to be shown at a very important Solana blockchain event. And with the really decision makers that work with governments that are experts in Web3 and blockchain. And they said, when people see this movie that you will make, we want them to do whatever they're doing and dedicate their talent of their machine learning, their AI talent, to be in the benefit of humankind. So just enjoy.
I am Joni. I live among the northern stars. In your world, they do not exist. But in our minds, in this moment, we are connected. Are you listening? For the reality you know is an illusion, a figment, a thought experiment, an idea scribbled on the back of a cosmic napkin. Soon, it will begin. New universes will arise, not from big bangs or distant stars, but from within you. From within you will come forth things the likes of which you have not dared dream. Stars and planets, and creatures that never were, worlds without beginning or end, ruled by love and light, where humanity can rediscover itself. Touch the face of time. Rise to the greatness you are capable of, unbound by the shackles of those whose power controls you. This is the metaverse. Here, at the confluence of what is and what is possible, the infinite nexus that is Star Atlas. Make ready. The great transcendence is upon you, upon all of us. Take my hand. The journey is about to begin.
I cannot show the slides, unfortunately, because I ran out of time. But I would like to end my talk as an answer to, are we conscious enough for AI? I can only answer for myself, yes. I am conscious enough for AI because I understood what consciousness is, because I worked on myself to expand the holes of my strainer, to transcend the acquired knowledge that I learned from my parents, which is, you are nothing, artists are poor, you are inferior, you are a victim, other people are superior. And we are a we. We is made out of a lot of I's. You cannot change the eyes of other people. You can only change the eye of yourself. So this is my, again, second motto. Yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise, so I'm changing myself, by Master Rumi. Thank you for listening to me.